The trucking industry and its supply chain have been heavily impacted by COVID-19. Jake Chapman explains how Tropical Storm Laura could make things even worse.
Hurricane Laura not only caused destruction across Louisiana and Texas, it's impacting how truck drivers do their job in what already has been a difficult year. Strickland with Freightwaves says 2020 hasn't been like any other year.
I don't think the supply chain's ever seen anything like 2020. I don't think the world's really ever seen anything like 2020.
Strickland says COVID-19 has hurt the supply chain.
So anytime you have something that really gets into the disruption of the operations and consistency, it just adds a new layer of volatility to the space.
Now, Tropical Storm Laura is another obstacle.
The direct impact. You have interstate closures. So they're going to have to find back ways around that. So that's going to have service impacts. You're going to have delays to products getting into where they need to be and things like that.
Companies along the storm's path will be hit the hardest.
It may be a short-lived event and may not have a huge impact overall, but all these shippers bake all these extra costs into their price for the next year. So anytime that we see this kind of disruption, it does have a longer-term impact.
But companies here in Chattanooga may feel the effects as well.
For any shippers in our area or around the area, Atlanta is a huge freight market, where a lot of outbound activity happens. That could probably draw a lot of that attention down to the coast, further exacerbating the fact that a lot of these shippers aren't going to be able to get a lot of coverage.
Its recovery efforts, Strickland says, take the hardest toll on business.
Carriers are having enough trouble just covering the demand that already exists, and now you have this recovery effort on top of that that's going to increase that effect, if anything. But down the line, costs, all your products and stuff, they have to bake that into their costs, so we could see inflation.
That was Jake Chapman reporting, and Freightwaves tells us it will take weeks, maybe even months, for those impacted by the storm to recover. And of course, no one can predict the outcome of the pandemic.